Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's December 19th, 2025. End of the year is upon us again. Um, this video is going to be talking about P. Diddy. It's like, to me, I'm glad he's locked up. You know why? Because the fact is, people might say, oh, but he's a black man and this. No, brother, you're evil. You know what I'm saying? You've been an evil person, treating women like shit, treating men like shit. I'm glad you're locked up. You probably was. Responsible for Tupac's death, I'm sure, and Biggie. One of the two best rappers, you know what I mean, in the game back in the mid '90s. That should be still here right now, and I'm sure So, um, like I said, I'm glad he's locked up. Even if it's just for a short time, it's like this is for this, even the situation with Shine, when that happened back in 1999, whether it was Shine that had the gun or not, but regardless, the fact is, Diddy should have did some time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, I'm sure she was, doing some shit too. You know what I'm saying? But see, she got, a lot of these people, they get away with all this bullshit, this nonsense. And it's like, to me, I'm glad. I'm glad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because you know why? Because just the stories you've heard about how he's treated employees and how he's treated people in the industry. It's like, bro, you know, the way you beat up Cassie. And again, I'm not saying, oh, Cassie was an angel, because Lord knows she wasn't. She was part of these freak offs too. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to play you guys something. This is old, but I just feel like playing it.
Report. I'm with Johnson in New York. We're coming on the air right now because the federal judge in the Sean Diddy Combs trial has just denied bail for Combs hours after a split verdict in the racketeering and sex trafficking case against him. On the third day of deliberations, the jury finding Combs not guilty on 3 of 5 counts, acquitting him of the most serious charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Combs guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Each count carries a maximum of up to 10 years behind bars. The verdict considered a huge win for Combs, who is facing the possibility of life in prison. He's been behind bars since his arrest in September. Let's get right to ABC's chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky. And Aaron, we know that the defense was hoping that Combs would be able to leave the courtroom and go back to his family today. And earlier, he even said to his family there that I'm coming home. But it turns out that is not the case. What are you learning from what happened in this hearing late today?
So just to let you know, that obviously this is an old video, but I just wanted to, show you. Everybody knows he's already locked up. But just the fact is, I'm glad he is. Because the fact is, you're a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? You make black people look bad. I don't care how much money, how much business you've done with people. I'm glad. This is your karma. This is your karma, because again, because you figured out, you thought in your mind, just like most people, because most people are pieces of shit. Okay, we think that we can get away with everything. Okay, we think we can get away with everything and anything in this life. And you died for over 30 years since you've been in the industry. Over 30 plus years, long time of treating people like shit. Deaths around the corner, you know what I mean? This and that, treating people like, how you felt like, treating women, mistreating them, pretending to the world that you're a nice guy. When you heard the stories, and we know that you're behind the scenes closeted faggot too. We already know this. Okay, because we know that, I'm sure you've been with a lot of men. We've heard this. There's been stories from people on the internet said that, yeah, you've been around certain people, or people looked at you a certain way, you did this or that, or been in certain rooms. It's like, bro, if you're that way, just be that way. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't just sit back and lie. But I guess you can't, do that. It's like having freak offs. You know what I mean? This is ridiculous. So let me just, play a little bit of this and then.
Sean Combs entered court just a moment ago, Whit, looking upbeat. He greeted his family, who crammed into the gallery, all in one bench, his mother, sons, twin daughters. And I think he was anticipating that he would be released following the mixed verdict, especially the acquittal on all of the violent crimes. But the judge immediately sat down at the bench, started reading his decision, saying bail is denied. He would not be released prior to sentencing because the judge said his incarceration is required based on what he was convicted of, transportation for the purposes of prostitution. The judge said the defense did not make any successful arguments to say that that expectation should be overridden. All right, Erica Tursky, thank you. Stand by for us a moment. You're taking a look at some of these live images from our WABC New York chopper camera here. You can see the crowd.
You see what I'm saying? I'm glad. This is, like I said, this is old. You know, this is an old video. This was over 5 months plus ago. But just the fact is, you know, I'm glad that, you know, he ended up getting, you know, what he did. And then 50 Cent, you know, has this documentary out on him. You know what I mean? The Reckoning, you know. So let me see. Let me see if I can. But yeah, no, you know, it's like it's like this is what I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad that this man, you know, got locked up, you know what I mean? So you know, what's this? Let me just see real quick. But you know, I'm glad he got locked up because again, you know what I mean? Because someone like him, you know, deserves that, you know, they deserve that, you know, what's this? I'm just saying that I don't think I can get it, but you know, but it's just the fact is, you know, all these people in the industry, they think, yeah, that they could treat people, you know, like crap and expect to, um, get these blessings. It's like, how do you expect to get these blessings when you are a person, you know, that's guilty, that's doing bad shit to people, that's acting the fool all the time? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. Like I said, let me just see something. And again, 50 Cent, like I said, you know, what's this? And it's funny how like they ended up getting this, 50 ended up getting the footage and stuff like that, which, you know what I mean, which is kind of weird. But, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, I'm glad that in a sense that, you know, 50's exposing this fool.
Things are happening, and it's like, I want to fight for my life. I want to fight for, you know, just and not guilty. I want to have a life to be able to live. You know, it's really going to be hard for me to take more hits than I take it. God forbid, get in front of a jury and have a chance. And so I'm having this emergency call because something has to give.
We need the core theme to be, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong on any front. And you've come to New York to face things head on. If anyone's ever paying any attention to what you've actually been doing, you've handled this with complete honor.
I don't think it's working.
This man films himself, you know, doing this. Like I said, films himself. You know what I mean? Again, you know.
I've listened. I've been a superb client, as you said. I jumped on the plane. I'm coming to New York, but I'm just running around waiting for a shoe to drop.
We're losing sight of the big picture, man. It's the middle of September and there's still no indictment.
Then you have to have a spokesman. You have to have some sort of comms to constantly be pushing that, Mark. Because you may just be a person that you just may watch CNN. You know what I'm saying? And there's 9 billion people in the world. And 7 billion of them is on Instagram and TikTok. And so you at the wrong place looking to see what the people with the possible jurors are thinking. We have to find somebody that'll work with us, whether they're from this country or from another country. It could be somebody that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business of media and propaganda.
When you're a leader in that way, it's admirable until you get to the point where you want to control everyone around you. He got to that point.
It's like Scarface, the movie. I want the world and everything that's in it. But you got everything.
Hey, yo, New York, we did it! Harlem, we did it, Mount Vernon, we did it!
It was a mantra that Sean had. Nobody's gonna be bigger than me.
Sean is the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. We'll never see a Sean in my lifetime again. Ever. It was like the more money he got, the more power he got, the more power he got, the more money he got. And he always felt like money can get him out of everything.
I do feel it's important that we let the public know from the juror standpoint, just kind of how we reach the verdict. It's not everything that the media has put it out to be.
You want to put stuff in my fanny pack, King?
He's creating a narrative always. He is the best storyteller in hip hop. He thinks he's Black Superman. I can do what I want.
You can't go on for long in life doing the things that he was doing before something eventually happens. You can't continue to keep hurting people and nothing ever happens. It's just a matter of time.
So that's, you know what I mean? So you see that. You see some of the people that, you know, said what they said about him. So, again, and because the fact is, number one, you know, you did dirt to people. You treated people like shit. And you thought after you beat Cassie's ass, you know what I mean, that, and again, she's not no angel neither, okay? You know what I'm saying? She's not an angel neither. Because, you know, but at the same time, just because she was an angel doesn't mean both you guys need to, you know, fight each other. Okay, that was crazy. And then, you know what I mean, just having that videotape. Again, she's not no angel. She was in those freak offs. She participated in those. You know what I'm saying? You did what you did with her and stuff like that. But again, you know, you deserve what you get, bro. And I'm glad that your black ass is locked up in. Even if you come home 2026, 2027, if you're still alive, okay, you did your time. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? You know what I'm saying? You're always gonna, you know, that's always gonna be in your mind that you've been locked up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like hopefully it would get your stupid ass to start treating people a little bit better. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because money don't mean shit. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You could control people to a certain extent with it if you allow them to. But that's it, bro. But no, I'm glad he's locked up. I'm glad, you know, again, you know, he might not get locked up for long. He might get out maybe next year, maybe, who knows? Supposedly it's 4 years. But again, I don't know all the details. But I just want to say I'm glad. You know what I'm saying? And I hope this is a warning to the industry, to this wicked industry, entertainment world, that, you know, one of their top handlers got locked up. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So don't let it be another handler, you know what I'm saying, in the industry that gets locked up too. But that's all I have to say. Feel free to check out my YouTube channel. Type in my name. It's Russell Mills, RussellMills, May 22nd, 2017. My first video is called Why Black People Settle for Less. Everybody take care. Have a good day. Peace.